sharp.
Right.
And you had to bring it.
Exactly.
You really had to bring it. If you didn't bring it, they knew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you'd get thrown off the stage. The Apollo Theater, don't go there half-stepping. You get knocked out. You know what I'm saying?
Walter Scott, a quiet goodbye to a musical legend. Have you ever noticed how some people give their whole heart to the world, and yet when they leave us, it feels like no one noticed? That's what happened with Walter Scott. He wasn't just a singer, he was the voice. One of the original members of the Whispers, Walter helped shape the sound of R&B music for decades. But when he passed away in 2022 after silently battling cancer, there was barely a ripple in the news. And that's the sad part. Why does it take someone passing for the world to finally stop and recognize their worth? Why do legends like Walter have to wait until after they're gone to get the love they truly earned? Once his funeral came around, though, something changed. Suddenly, all the love, respect, and emotions that people kept to themselves came pouring out. Let's take it back to the beginning.
Call it what it is. Call it what it is.
Well, we different. That's why he said.
That's why we different.
Scotty's pretty brutal when it comes to
I don't know one way to talk, and it's just say what you feel. You know, I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, but we shouldn't have to redo. We shouldn't even have to. We've been singing 54 years, and we find here. Thank God, we are still able vocally to go back and redo.
Walter Scott was born in 1943 in Fort Worth, Texas, along with his twin brother, Wallace "Scotty" Scott. From the start, they were more than just twins, they were a team. As kids, they were inseparable, and their bond only grew stronger through music. Even as teenagers, they were singing together, blending their voices so perfectly you'd think they were born for it. In a way, they were. In the early 1960s, the Scott twins moved to Los Angeles. There, they connected with other talented young men, Marcus Hudson, Nicholas Caldwell, and Gordy Harmon, who would later form the Whispers.
Well, he says the record companies mean well. No, they don't, in my humble opinion. Because if they did, we wouldn't have this problem in the first place. But like he said, I do want to say to young people, because he just said something I think that the young people need to, your priorities do need to change. They shouldn't be a tennis shoe.
They weren't stars yet. They were just a group of young dreamers playing local gigs, performing at talent shows, and doing whatever it took to get their music out into the world. Walter wasn't loud or attention-seeking. He didn't push others aside to get in front of the mic. He was quiet, focused, and all about harmony. He didn't need to try hard when he sang, you felt it. Just as the group was gaining momentum, Walter got drafted into the Vietnam War. It could have been the end of his music career. But not for Walter. He served his country and came back strong, rejoining the group like he never missed a step. And then boom. The Whispers took off. Hit after hit. In 1980, they released And the Beat Goes On, a funky track that became a classic. Then came Rock Steady in 1987, a dance floor favorite, and of course, the smooth ballad Lady, which still plays on Quiet Storm Radio to this day. Through it all, Walter stayed loyal to the group. He never went solo, never chased personal fame. In a business full of egos, that kind of humility is rare. He sang for the love of the music, the fans, and his brothers. But behind the scenes, Walter was fighting a quiet battle, cancer. He didn't tell many people. Not because he was afraid, but because that's just who he was: humble, private, and strong.
You need to own your own product.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, believe me, somebody else will take it right away from you.
He kept singing, kept showing up, even when his body was in pain. Most would have stepped away. Walter kept going. He spent his last days in peace, surrounded by family and love. All while fans were still out there watching old videos, talking about how incredible his voice was, never knowing what he was really going through. When the news broke that Walter had passed, it hit hard. But the funeral was where the truth of his legacy really came to life. Held in Northridge, California, it was a simple, emotional gathering of people who truly knew him not just as a performer, but as a man. Friends, family, fans, and music legends came to honor him. No big flashy production, just real, honest love. Then his twin, Wallace, stepped up to speak. The room went silent. Wallace didn't just lose a brother. He lost the other half of his soul. He spoke about their childhood in Texas, sneaking into talent shows, pretending to perform with hairbrush microphones. He talked about how they built their dream together side by side. His voice cracked. You could feel the pain in every word. When he said, "Losing your twin is like losing a part of yourself," you could hear the room gasp. People cried, not just for Walter, but for the heartbreak Wallace was carrying. And then came Leaveil Degree, another longtime member of the Whispers. Leaveil is known for being cool, calm, and collected. But not that day. He walked up, visibly emotional, trying to find the words. For a long moment, he stood there in silence, fighting tears. When he finally spoke, he shared memories of the early days sleeping on floors, playing tiny clubs, dreaming big. He called Walter the heart of the group, the one who never complained, always made sure they sounded tight. And then, something unforgettable happened. Without a microphone, without music, Leaveil started to sing. Just his raw voice, trembling with emotion. He sang a rough, heartfelt version of "Let's Go All the Way." The notes weren't perfect. But that didn't matter. You could feel Walter's spirit in the room. That one moment said more than any speech ever could. When he finished, the room stayed quiet, then came a slow wave of clapping. Not for the performance, but for Walter. For the love. For the brotherhood.
Articulate, they can express themselves, and they understand the business. They've come so much further than we could ever do because we didn't have the clout at the time.
That was real. Walter's story isn't just about music. It's about how we remember the people who quietly shape our lives. His voice lives on. The Whispers still get played on streaming platforms. Artists like Will Smith and J. Cole have sampled their songs. Their music is in TV shows, movies, even viral TikToks. But here's the hard truth: the people behind the music didn't always get what they deserved. The business side of music, especially back then, wasn't kind. Royalties went to labels and publishers. The Whispers, despite their success, never saw the full reward. Walter never complained publicly. But those close to him knew it hurt. To give so much and get so little back. Still, he kept showing up for his fans. Because to him, it was always about the music. In the end, no contract or royalty check can define Walter Scott's legacy. What he left behind is bigger than that. When Questlove called him the uncle whose scats could dust you, that wasn't just praise. That was truth from one music legend to another. Walter's true impact? It lives in every person who's ever played a Whispers song at a cookout, on a late-night drive, or slow danced with someone they love. His voice, his soul is still here. So if you've ever felt something when Rocksteady came on, or swayed to Lady in the Dark, take a moment. Remember Walter Scott. Share his story. Play his music. And give him the love he should have gotten while he was still here. He earned it. So now that we've taken this journey through Walter Scott's life, from humble beginnings in Fort Worth, Texas, to the world stage with the Whispers, and finally to his quiet goodbye, you might be wondering, what does it all mean? It means something big. Walter wasn't just a singer. He was a man who poured love, time, and soul into something bigger than himself. He didn't chase headlines. He didn't beg for the spotlight. He didn't demand praise. He just showed up. Day after day, year after year, for the people he loved, for the music he believed in, and for the fans who kept listening even when they didn't know the pain he was carrying. In a world where everyone wants to go viral, where everyone's chasing likes, Walter lived a different way. Quiet. Consistent. Real. He gave us timeless harmonies, unforgettable melodies, and moments we still carry with us, whether it's that one song that played at your wedding, or that track that brought your family together at a summer cookout. But here's the thing. People like Walter Scott deserve more. They deserve to be remembered while they're still here. They deserve their flowers before the funeral. And if you take nothing else from this video, take that. Let's stop waiting until someone's gone to say how much they meant to us. Because if Walter taught us anything, it's that greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers. So here's what we can do. Keep the music alive. Go stream the Whispers. Add their songs to your playlists. Talk about them. Post about them. Tell your kids who they were. Keep Walter's name in conversations. Because that's how legacy works, it doesn't disappear unless we let it. And if this story touched you, if you felt even a piece of the love, the loss, or the beauty of what Walter represented, do something small but powerful, like this video, share it with someone, and drop a comment below. Let the world know what Walter's music meant to you. Maybe you saw the Whispers live. Maybe you slow danced to one of their tracks. Or maybe, just maybe, you've been playing their songs your whole life without even knowing the name of the voice behind them. Now you know. Walter Scott was that voice. And now, we carry it forward. Thank you, Walter, for the music, the memories, the strength, and the soul. You may have left this world quietly, but we'll make sure your story gets the volume it deserves. Rest easy, legend. Let the world know what Walter's music meant to you. Maybe you saw the Whispers live. Maybe you slow danced to one of their tracks. Or maybe, just maybe, you've been playing their songs your whole life without even knowing the name of the voice behind them. Now you know. Walter Scott was that voice. And now, we carry it forward. Thank you, Walter, for the music, the memories, the strength, and the soul. You may have left this world quietly, but we'll make sure your story gets the volume it deserves. Rest easy, legend. We'll keep whispering your name.